Hey guys, Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Avengers vs. X-Men issue 11. This was in the news on Wednesday because something big happened, which the spoiler, I will not reveal it until the endish, so I will tell you when the spoiler would be revealed, because I found out the spoiler before I wanted to, because I was on the internet, I saw a comic vine, and I was like, alright, something happened. So I was like, alright, I just won't read the article. So I didn't read the article. You know, all the other comic book websites were very good of keeping the spoiler. If you wanted to read it, they told their opinion, but they didn't spoil it, like, in the description or anything. But then I go on my Yahoo, and guess what the big news story was? The big spoiler, and they revealed it. And I was like, I was trying to save that spoiler before why I read this comic. So the comic book news websites are very good at keeping the spoilers, but, Yahoo just spoiled it for us, so that was nice, right? But I found out the spoiler before, I read it, but whatever. So yeah, let me tell you guys that I will not spoil it for you guys until the end. I will warn you when the spoilers come. That way I could talk about the spoiler, but that way for the people who want to read it first and don't want to be spoiled, they could see the review also. But let's talk about the cover for this issue. Yeah, it's kind of a boring cover. It's like, it's kind of generic type of cover. The art is pretty good, but it seems like a cover that we've always seen, But it does happen. Emma and Cyclops have a big fight in this issue. So, but let's see what happens in the story. In this issue, we get to see the Avengers. They're still teaming up, trying to get, to defeat Cyclops. And even Professor X comes to help, and all the other X-Men, we find out it's not really Avengers vs. X-Men anymore, it's Avengers vs. Cyclops, and I kind of like that they noted that, because it really hasn't been Avengers vs. X-Men, it's been Avengers vs. Cyclops and the Phoenix Five, since, that Act 2. Yes, the X-Men in the beginning are like, oh, we thought Cyclops had a good plan, but then we saw, wow, look how evil he's become. So now it really is Avengers vs. Cyclops, and maybe they should change the title, like cross it out, that'd be fun. See Avengers vs. Cyclops. So we get to see, the X-Men team up with the Avengers now, because they know that, Cyclops is doing stuff wrong. And, Cyclops gets in a fight with Emma, because, the Phoenix Force is really making him do things he would never do. And Cyclops takes Emma's power and becomes the Dark Phoenix. And that's not even the spoiler. But he does become the Dark Phoenix because he has all this power, and that's how the issue ends. And I'll tell you guys the big spoiler again towards the end of this review. I'll warn you guys when I tell you the spoiler, but this is not the spoiler. But Cyclops does become the Dark Phoenix and becomes the most powerful Phoenix, and he's like, this is how Jean felt. And we'll have to see in the next issue, will they be able to defeat Cyclops as the Dark Phoenix, because now he really has all the power, and there is no Phoenix 5 anymore. So let's talk about that spoiler thing. So guys, if you, don't want the spoiler, I'm going to tell you guys this is a okay issue, because the way they handled the spoiler, I felt like it wasn't the best. But now I'm going to talk about the spoiler, tell you why I don't think it was the best. So guys, if you don't want the spoiler, you guys can leave the video now and then come back when you, read the issue. So the spoiler is that a big character, legendary character, dies. And that legendary character is Professor X, the person who created the X-Men. On the Avengers cast, I think it was last week, sorry guys, my camera's going a little, skipping stuff for some reason. But anyways, on the Avenger cast, we talked about how someone was gonna die, and we were just all predicting who would die, and we all pretty much agreed that Professor X would probably be the person who does die towards the end or whatever, just because he hasn't been used. But we also, named other people, but we did guess that Professor X was gonna die, and that's why I felt like it wasn't that good of a death, it's just because we did guess it, and it was kind of predictable, just because Professor X hasn't even been used in years. I feel like a lot of people already thought he was dead. I really wouldn't be surprised if people did think that, because yes, he had the ability to walk again, yes, but he hasn't done anything since, he hasn't done anything. He sometimes comes in and says, good job, guys, or I'm disappointed in you guys, and it's like, oh, I'll help. or, I'll just talk to somebody. But really, he hasn't been, like, any issues. Again, I feel like people already thought he was dead. So I think that's why they killed him off. It's just they didn't have any more story for him. Especially because, the people he taught really became the leaders of the X-Men and the leaders of the team and really took its place. So, he had nothing else to do. So in this issue, it was okay, death. He's just telling Cyclops, oh, you gotta stop this, I didn't teach you this, bad boy. That's pretty much what he does. And, Cyclops is like, yeah, you're just saying you're like a father to me, you're no father. And the power kind of does overwhelm him. And he kills, Professor X, even though I feel like he doesn't mean it. Because he does cry, he's like, look what you made me do, look, the Avengers made me do this, I didn't do this. And he does cry about it because, he knows it's his fault. And, or does he cry about it, actually? I don't, yes, he does, yeah. Yeah, he does cry about it, because he knows it's his fault, and he knows that the powers overwhelmed him, that he just killed a father figure, and, someone that taught him to be everything he could be, and he killed Professor X, and, I think the one thing I did like about that is show how far Cyclops will go, and he just crossed the line, and he crossed the line since issue 1, but he just crossed the edge, he just crossed it, and he is now the Dark Phoenix, and he is going to be a hard person to defeat, and I'm excited for the next issue. And I have to say, I think Avengers vs. X-Men has turned around since the beginning. Things have happened, and yes, I feel like it's not the best event, but it's still a good story. Because events, like, stuff have to really happen, big stuff. Explosions, whatever, big stuff have to happen. I feel like it hasn't, but this is the first big thing that has happened, which is not that big, again, because Professor X hasn't been used in years, but it's still at least, we did something. And hopefully next issue will be better. Again, I thought this was an okay issue. It was a little bit overhyped after. It was like, God, whoever died, a big thing. I thought it was a little bit overhyped, especially with Yahoo freaking spoiling it for me, but I thought it was a little overhyped, but it was still a good issue. I'm going to give it a 3.5. I still liked the issue, but a little predictable. The death was okay. It wasn't really that much of I'm going to say it wasn't heart-wrenching that they had to let go of Professor X. He's not a big player anymore. I think if this was years ago, it would be like, oh, Professor X died. They just did that. It's not that anymore. Professor X hasn't been used. So I just feel like that's why it's not as much, So, but still, I think you guys should pick this up. It's a good issue. And again, things happen. And it's actually a good issue. I actually enjoyed this, and I think Avengers vs. X-Men has turned around to become maybe not a good event, but a good story. So, hope you guys enjoyed this comic Uno. Guys, tell me in the comments below what you guys thought about Professor X's death and, Cyclops becoming Dark Phoenix and how much he really has gone over the edge now. So, guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for comic Uno and random situations. I hope you guys enjoyed, and again, I say pick it up. I thought it was a good issue. So, see you guys later. Bye.